What's good, family? It's me, Coach 67 Sports TV. Shout out to the awesome and amazing LDBC, Lions Den Boston community. Shout out to the greatest university in the world, Southern University, home of the mighty Jaguars. I just wanted to kind of come in real quickly tonight and give my pre-fight analysis of the David Benavidez and Caleb Plant fight, in addition to giving my post-fight analysis of Tony Harrison and Tim Tszyu. Actually, I did a video of my post-fight analysis of Tony Harrison and Tim Tszyu. However, I had some technical difficulties for that particular video, and as a result, I didn't get to upload it. My schedule has been kind of hectic and busy lately. However, I'm trying to get back into the swing of things. So just let me go through Tony Harrison and Tim Tszyu and Caleb Plant versus David Benavidez. First and foremost, in terms of Tony Harrison versus Tim Tszyu, my post-fight thoughts. First thing after watching the fight that I thought at this stage in his career, Tony Harrison is done. I hate to say it that way, but I mean, that's the truth. He's done. So you got to give props to Tim Tszyu because he went out and he handled his business. Now, proponents of Tim Tszyu, one of the excuses they made was that the ring was too small. In my opinion, I'm not really trying to hear that excuse because Tony Harrison, he has excellent footwork. He has excellent boxing skills. He didn't use those boxing skills and that footwork against Tim Tszyu. And in addition to that, he agreed to all the terms. He agreed to go to Australian fight Tim Tszyu. He ring size, whatever terms table to those terms, and as a result, like I find a lot of excuses that Tony Harrison are giving. So the ring wasn't too small. To me, the ring size was irrelevant because he really didn't use his excellent footwork and his boxing skills to his benefit. And I'm not taking anything away from Tim Tszyu, but I feel like Tony Harrison lost the fight more than Tim Tszyu wanted. He laid on the ropes and he just took some punishment. I mean, it's obvious at this stage in Tony Harrison's career that his punch resistance is real low. Tony Harrison is done. I mean, this is not the Tony Harrison I'm used to seeing. I'm accustomed to seeing, because if you saw him when he fought against Jared Hurd, you saw him in those two fights against Jamel Charlo. I mean, he's a much different fighter. So, some fighters, they kind of gradually roll on a hill, and other fighters, they just fall off the side of a cliff. Tony Harrison is falling off the side of a cliff. He is like shot. He's a shot fighter. He's done. I hate to say it that way, but it's just me just being as blunt and as honest as I could be. Hopefully he just hangs it up and he should move on. Hopefully he's fought his last fight. And just watching the fight, I think I might have given Tony Harrison one round, and that's being generous. Is the next stage of life. Hopefully he saved this money, but he shouldn't take this type of punishment. I mean, leading up to the fight, he was correct from the standpoint of he's taken the stairs and Tim Tszyu took the elevator. The fact that Tim Tszyu is the son of former junior welterweight champion, undisputed champion, Kostya Tszyu. I mean, that was truthful, but at this stage, Tim Tszyu is a young, hungry fighter, and Tony Harrison, he's a shy fighter. I hate to say it that way, but it's truthful. So we'll see when this fight is scheduled for Jamel Charlo and Tim Tszyu. I think that should be an interesting fight. I'm leaning heavily towards Charlo, but I'll give my breakdown for that particular fight once it's made, and once we get closer to fight time. Now, getting into Caleb Sweet Hands Plant and David Benavidez. Before I really start the breakdown, this is truly, in my estimation, a 50-50 fight. I think it's a real 50-50 fight, but one thing I need to point out, no slight to either one of these fighters. This is no disrespect towards them, but this is not a pay-per-view worthy fight. As boxing fans, we're so deprived and so starved of good fights that this fight is a pay-per-view fight, and it's not a pay-per-view fight. At best, this is a HBO championship boxing main event in the 2000s. That's exactly what this is. This is not a pay-per-view worthy caliber fight, but since it's so difficult to get, a fight of even this quality, that boxing fans are just deprived and starved of good fights. This fight is a pay-per-view fight as a result. So, just me going through the tail of the tape. The Mexican monster, David Benavidez, he's 6'2". He has a 74.5 arm reach. He's 26 years old. He's 26-0. He has 23 wins via knockout. His notable wins are against Jillian Love, whatever that's supposed to mean at this point. Turning out what based on what he's turned out to be. He has a win over Anthony Durrell. He has a win over David Lemieux. All right. Going to Caleb Sweet Hands Plant. Caleb Plant is 6'1". So David Benavidez is 1 inch taller than him. Caleb Plant has a 74-inch arm reach. So David Benavidez has a half-inch reach advantage over him. Caleb Plant is 30 years old. So David Benavidez is 4 years younger. Caleb Plant is 22-1. He has 13 wins by where a knockout. The most notable of Caleb Plant's career is his last fight. He has a very impressive TKO win over Anthony Durrell. And of course, that's the one common opponent. If you look at the two fighters, David Benavidez, he TKO'd Anthony Durrell, whereas Caleb Plant, he knocked Anthony Durrell out. And the most notable loss, the only loss of Caleb Plant's career, is on November the 6th, 2021. He got stopped by Canelo Alvarez. So that's the tail of the tape. Breaking down each aspects of each fighter's fight game. First, breaking down the jab. David Benavidez, he has a decent jab. He's a long fighter. He's rangy. So he has a long, quick jab. But the issue with David Benavidez is his footwork is, it leaves a lot to be desired. Even though he has a long jab, he snaps it. It's a quick jab. He has this awkward, cross step to his back foot. So his footwork, it kind of leaves a lot to be desired. Now, on the other hand, Caleb Plant, his footwork is much better. He is a quick and he has an accurate jab. This is probably the best in terms of jabs. It's probably the best jab that David Benavidez has been up against in terms of his fighting career. Caleb Plant, he does an excellent job of controlling range with his jab. He does an excellent job of probing and feinting. He's a slick boxer. So in terms of the two jabs head to head, I would have to give the advantage to Caleb Plant. In terms of defense, David Benavidez, he likes to use a high guard. And for those individuals that don't know what a high guard is in terms of boxing, the one fighter in recent history that's most synonymous with using a high guard is Ronald Winky Wright. And the downside to using a high guard is, in many instances, fighters that use a high guard, they let the opponent or the opposition outwork them. And, that was a huge issue with Winky Wright. It was fine when he was fighting at junior middleweight and he was fighting against, smaller fighters, especially, a fighter that moved up in weight like Shane Mosley. In terms of just being a naturally bigger fighter, Winky Wright was much bigger. So he could just go into his high guard. He could kind of let you punch because he was so much bigger that, people like Shane Mosley, unless he just completely put his hands down and disregard their punching power, you really wasn't going to hurt Winky Wright. And at times, David Benavidez, he goes into a high guard. And, like I said, the downside to that is, when you're in a high guard, you can't return fire. So when David Benavidez goes into that high guard, Caleb Plant is going to be able to, punch without having to worry about return fire. And in addition to that, he's going to be able to outwork David Benavidez in those spots. And like I said before, Caleb Sweethand Plants, he does an excellent job of changing levels. He's a slick boxer. He does a good job of probing and feinting. So he's going to bait David Benavidez in using that high guard, and he's going to be able to outwork him when he has those opportunities. Like I said, he has good footwork. He's a slick boxer, and he does a good job of changing levels, going to the head, going to the body, probing, feinting. So that's David Benavidez's defense. In terms of defense for Caleb Plant, he likes to use a Philly shell, and for recent fighters that's most known for using the Philly shell, the two fighters that's most synonymous with it in modern times is, of course, number one is Floyd Mayweather Jr. Floyd Mayweather Jr. was, he did an excellent job when he was an active fighter of using his Philly shell. And the next fighter that's next known for it is James Lights Out Tony. And I don't know if he just dropped into camp or he's actually working with Caleb Plant. But James Toney did pop into Caleb Plant's camp from what I understand. So I'm not one of these boxing insiders or anything, but that's just what I saw online. So in terms of the Philly shell, I think he's, in terms of like current fighters, he's the best at using it, which isn't saying a lot. In terms of his Philly shell, is nowhere near on the level of Floyd Mayweather Jr. and it's not on level of James Toney either. The issue with Caleb Plant's Philly shell is the fact that, but he's synonymous with having cardiorespiratory issues, stamina issues, issues with his endurance. So he fades later in fights. So he uses the Philly shell to kind of conserve energy later in fights. So he goes to the Philly shell, and I don't think he should use that much in this fight because it's gonna give the way he could probe and feint and bait David Benavidez into going into his high guard. David Benavidez can outwork Caleb Plant when Caleb Plant goes into that Philly shell. In addition to that, the fact that Canelo stopped Caleb Plant, I don't think he wants to give David Benavidez those type of opportunities in terms of just, being able to get off and let punches off. So in terms of defense, like I said, David Benavidez he likes to use the high guard, and Caleb Plant likes to use the Philly shell. Now, in terms of a couple other bad habits each fighter has, David Benavidez, like I said, his footwork is awkward. In addition to that, he has a tendency to lunge and reach at times. On Caleb Plant side of things, he's a very athletic fighter. So, and it was obvious in terms of his favorite fighters. He He likes Floyd Mayweather Jr. in terms of him using the Philly shell. But in addition to that, you can tell he's a fan of Roy Jones Jr. because he likes to jump in with straight right hands and left hooks. And the problem with that is when he jumps in with lead left hooks and lead straight right hands, he's gonna lead. In certain instances, he leaves himself open to counter punches. So he's gonna need to watch that. In addition to that, going back to the defense, he likes to use the Philly shell. Like I said before, he's had cardiovascular issues in terms of his stamina and his endurance. He fades later in fights in terms of Caleb Plant. So since he fades later in fights, he likes to revert to the Philly shell. It's going to give David Benavidez opportunities to, just get inside and work. And like I said, he don't want to give David Benavidez those opportunities. Another bad habit that Caleb Plant has is at times he likes to pull straight back instead of circling out when he's retreating or clinching. He likes to just pull straight back or pull straight out when he disengages. So that's something that he's going to need to be cognizant of. He doesn't want to give David Benavidez those opportunities, especially since David Benavidez is a longer super middleweight. And lastly, in terms of strategy for each fighter, if I was Caleb Plant, he basically the same game plan that Tony Harrison should have used against Tim Tszyu. Since David Benavidez, one good thing about him, he's relentless. He keeps coming. His footwork on the other side, it leaves a lot to be desired. So if Caleb Plant is in the middle of the ring, he's boxing. Something else he needs to do, he needs to just box. When he's in the middle of the ring, he's going to need to box. Other than that, he's going to need to move. I think David Benavidez is going to have a difficult time based on his poor footwork. He's going to have a difficult time cutting off the ring. So if I was Caleb, he's going to have a difficult time to cutting off the ring. He's a slick fighter the way you are. Use the excellent footwork, probe, feint, jab, bait him in going into his high guard, change levels, broke to the body, go up top to the head, head, body, just change levels, just do what you do. But don't. If I was David Benavidez, essentially what you want to do is just be aggressive, be relentless, and just try to just break and wear Caleb Plant down. And in addition to that, any opportunity he has, because we know Caleb Plant has a tendency to fade later in fights, go to the body, and just try to, break him down in terms, especially when he goes into that Philly shell. That's going to give Benavidez opportunities to counter punch. And in addition to that, the Philly shell when Caleb Plant lunges and reaches, that's going to also give David Benavidez opportunities. I think this is a complete 50-50 fight. The thing that kind of has me leaning towards Caleb Plant a little bit is the fact that I don't look at a whole lot of boxing channels outside of like LDBC channels. But even with that being said, I don't understand why so many people act like David Benavidez is this unstoppable, like Frankenstein type monster. He's beatable. Like I say, his footwork, it leaves a lot to be desired. So I think it's a complete total 50-50 fight. I think if the fight goes to the scorecards, I'm going to definitely lean towards Caleb Plant just basically outboxing David Benavidez. If the fight ends in a knockout, I will lean towards David Benavidez in terms of him stopping Caleb Plant. It's a complete 50-50 fight. It's kind of hard for me to go in either direction. But since I'm going out on a limb, I'm going to actually pick a winner because I hate when these guys give analysis and they straddle the fence. I'm going to go with Caleb Plant. I think Caleb Plant is going to win on points. If Caleb Plant does lose, I think he's going to get knocked out. David Benavidez will clip him and stop him. So it's a 50-50 fight. Like I say, it should be a good, entertaining fight. It's not a pay-per-view worthy fight in my estimation. It's a good HBO championship boxing type fight at best. So I'm gonna go with Caleb Plant on points. Maybe like a 115, 113 type win. 116, 112. One of the two. I'm gonna go with that. That's my breakdown of the fight. If y'all like this particular video, like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. Also, click the notification bell so you can be alerted anytime I post any new videos. Also, check out myself and my brother Jared with 11 Green on his channel. I'm often on his channel in terms of Southern Baller Show. Also, every Saturday at 2 p.m. My own show, with my family. Bayou Sports Talk every Saturday at 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. So subscribe to my channel here, of course, 67 Sports TV here on YouTube. You can also follow me on all social media platforms here on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. That's it for this video. Like I said again, like, share, subscribe, comment in the comment section, click the notification bell. I'll catch y'all on the rebound. Have a blessed and phenomenal evening. Peace and blessings.